A black firefighter has to sue his own department for racist hazing. Yeah, you heard me right. Racist hazing at the fire department. Put it up full mass, hell of a story. A black firefighter in New Jersey has filed a federal lawsuit alleging that his own department failed to intervene. They failed to take swift action. He says the racist hazing and harassment he faced was caught on camera, and still the department did nothing. $25 million complaint filed by Mr. Patrick Thomas. He alleges that the Bloomfield Fire Department never took steps to protect him from or discipline a white firefighter who repeatedly racially discriminated against him. According to the suit per Fire Law blog, Bloomfield firefighter Walter Kofi made verbal and physical references about hanging nooses to Thomas on two separate occasions. The complaint alleges that even before those incidents, Kofi had used the N-word on numerous occasions, quote, in the presence of African-American members of the BFD to harass, intimidate, and as means of informing minorities of their status as inferior within the institution, end quote. November 8th, 2023, during a departmental training focused on rope and knot techniques, the suit states that Kofi approached Thomas and said, quote, Thomas, there is a noose upstairs on the table. Did you see it? End quote. A week later, in the middle of a knot training session, the suit states that Kofi tied a hangman's noose and threw it toward Thomas while laughing and saying, quote, I want you to figure out what kind of knot this is, end quote. Thomas replied, quote, I know exactly what this is. This is a noose. This is what people used to hang my ancestors from trees. You think this is funny? End quote. The suit states the incident, quote, was intended to degrade and humiliate Thomas because of his race, resulting in severe emotional and psychological harm, end quote. Surveillance footage obtained by WNBC from the firehouse actually corroborates the allegation, showing Kofi tying the noose and throwing it toward Thomas in front of several other firefighters. The complaint states the incident happened in the presence of their colleagues, supervisors, and the course instructor. We have the screenshot of CNBC's footage. The incident made local news headlines after prosecutors criminally charged the firefighter Kofi with bias intimidation. This was December 2023. He was admitted to a pretrial intervention program that, upon completion, could result in the dismissal of those charges. The Bloomfield Fire Department launched an internal investigation into the noose incidents, according to the suit, but nothing panned out. Agency officials paused the investigation once Kofi was charged and resumed it in May 2025. They interviewed both Kofi and Thomas, but the investigation has yet to reach a conclusion, according to Thomas's suit. Kofi has been employed with the department since 2000, but town officials say he is currently on unpaid suspension pending his termination. There's more to the story. The man was arrested for bias intimidation. Okay, it's a misdemeanor. Prosecutors prosecuted. They allowed him to utilize a pretrial diversion program, typically available for individuals with misdemeanors who have no previous record. And the investigation internally stopped because of the criminal charge or allegation, which I have no idea why. It seems as if it could run concurrent just fine. This should have been concluded already, and that's what the lawsuit suggests. that the length of time is the issue. So Thomas sought an independent clinical evaluation. This was December 2023, after Kofi was charged to assess the extent of the mental and emotional distress he suffered under an individual so adverse and brazen. The fire agency required him to use sick leave for the time he spent out of work in the months after the incident, even though it was caused by a workplace supervisor. There's more. March 2024. Thomas filed a workers' compensation claim that was denied. What? Yeah, he filed a workers' comp claim that was denied despite the assessments from multiple clinicians, both independent and township appointed. That means government appointed. Both independent or private clinicians and government appointed clinicians agreed. They diagnosed him with psychological injuries related to the incident, the suit states. The township of Bloomfield mayor, Jenny Mundell, released a statement on Facebook shortly after Thomas's suit was filed, reaffirming the town's zero tolerance on racism. When the incidents happened, there were only 4 Black firefighters among the 80 firefighters employed with the Bloomfield Fire Department. Thomas is now seeking $25 million in judgment for the loss of liberty, emotional distress, humiliation, loss of property, costs and expenses, and other damage and injuries. And here's what's going to happen. This is my opinion. If this goes to a jury, that jury is going to assess all of these things because they are proper, they're within the scope of their investigation of fact finding, and you have a supervisor on camera doing it, who, by the way, has been charged criminally for doing so. There's no way out of this. But here's what's going to happen. The jury is going to assess punitive damages as well. Punitive is going to be to punish the city or the township or the fire department for being so reluctant and negligent in how they dealt with this. To deny this man the claims that have come from clinicians, both private and government appointed, is utterly insane. I don't know if you all have an attorney that's working on your behalf, but that's basically the trifecta. This man has recorded video, eyewitness testimony, and the testimony of clinicians that you have harmed him psychologically. You better give that man every penny he's asking for, or the jury will assess you in the punitive phase. That is my opinion. All right, Sharon, thoughts here?
Well, I'll start with my opinion, Doc. And again, this is my opinion. Don't come after the network. But an observation that, the Klan is everywhere. You know that, right?
Yeah.
The Klan rides, again, remember that old saying? Sometimes they might be in a big red truck, heavy truck, carries water, okay? Listen, the reluctance here, as you said, to do the right thing tells us everything we need to know. And I'd be worried about calling this particular fire department, not to disparage everyone there, about protecting property even. Because sometimes the people who do this kind of thing also like to set fires, usually crosses and stuff, wooden ones outside. So, you start talking about nooses, I'm allowed to say that.
Yeah, and you got to think about this. The fire department, they are not there just to fight fires. They are a first responder. They are going to have to do CPR. They're going to have to rescue people from dangerous situations. They have to protect individuals from unaliving themselves. So having people who are supervisors, who are actually racist, and it's known they're racist, their racism has been caught on camera, they've been arrested for racism. To have individuals like that inside of the department, and then for the department not to do everything they could do in order to make this man whole again, well, we'll see how it unfolds.